Hi, I'm Jim Sayers from Corn Belt Power Cooperative, and here today we're with Joe Mara from Building Products Incorporated. We've come to think of Joe sort of as our Tyvek expert, but Joe, tell us today a little bit more about the importance of Housewrap.
By building homes tighter today, the wall systems are much less forgiving, so we need to be more diligent than ever to keep water out of our walls, because just a little bit of water in today's walls can cause more damage than what a lot of water used to do in the walls of yesterday.
I see here we're next to a demonstration unit, and I think you're going to show us today a little bit about one important detail when you're putting Housewrap on a house.
Okay, so at this point, Jim, what I'm going to do is come around behind as if I'm inside the house, and I'm going to do the I cut that is called out for today versus the old X cut of yesterday, to make a better opening. So at this point, I'm going to move back. And simply going to cut from the top of the opening down, and then across the bottom, and then across the top. And then we're going to put them in on each side. And something that's new today versus time gone past is we're going to do a diagonal cut out on the face of the opening. Because what we found in the old days when we used to just cut an X cut, we were pulling this Tyvek in on the top fin of the window sat out here, and we discovered that that was in essence a reverse flash situation. And we're going to just temporarily take that up out of the way. And then now we're going to move to the point where we're going to put in a flexible sill pan. This is what's called a drainable installation. Now there is some release paper that comes off. And we come up approximately 6 inches up from the corner of the sill. Get a tight fit down into the corner of our opening.
And this is a waterproof, flexible.
It's a waterproof, flexible butyl rubber tape. What's important about the butyl rubber is that there's no solvents to off-gas out of it, make it dry out and fall off. That's been the downfall of some of the early tapes, and even some tapes today. If they say anything to the effect that they are made of asphalt or rubberized asphalt, what they're telling you is that it's not a butyl rubber tape. It's in essence a tar and solvent. And what that means is that the solvents are going to off-gas out of the tape, and in time it's simply going to dry up and fall off the wall. Butyl rubber is more, you might say, you could virtually almost say it's the life of the building. Now if you notice, this is a very important part of this tape feature is that it stretches. It flares out onto the face of the opening without having to make any small cuts or patches. Simply flash it out onto the opening like so, and you're ready to move on to the next step. Let's imagine that we've caulked our top and sides. Then we're going to set our window in. Now we're going to apply our tape.
And this is not the same flexible tape.
That is correct. This is what's called DuPont flashing tape. It's still a butyl rubber tape. However, because we're just doing it in a straight run, so the flexibility is not a feature that you need.
You do the side first.
Sides first. Always remember, when you're putting windows in, just imagine that you're working on a roof. Everything has to go shingle fashion. In other words, flash from bottom up. Now, if you'll notice here, we had this top piece, this top flap, up out of the way. The top tape, the tape that goes across the top is actually taping right to the sheeting. The tape on the side is taping to the Tyvek. So then we're going to bring this flap back down. And the only place that today we use this tape in two different areas. One is taping the laps and seams on your Housewrap or on your Tyvek, and the other place is in this instance where we're going to tape this flap down to make it more air and water tight, and tape the diagonals. Everything is now what we call Shingle Fashion. This tape is shingled over top of this tape on the bottom, and if you'll notice, we have no tape on our bottom fin. That's going to be our path to daylight for any water that gets into this opening. And we always say it's not if it gets in, but when it gets in. In today's architecture, we have a lot more windows that are exposed to weather that were just not that way back in the 60s and 50s, 60s, 70s when we built a lot of single-story ranch with 412 pitch, 2-foot overhang. Your windows had a lot of weather protection. That's not the case anymore. By keeping, doing a proper flashing detail, using a good Housewrap, you're going to have a much longer lasting, durable house.
Thank you, Joe, for your help today and your information. If you'd like more information about protecting your walls from moisture infiltration or energy efficient building products or for new technology, please contact your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative.